My first 3 months, I cried. I wanted to go home. And I only came with like $300. So within 3 months, that's gone. Because I was working for a company, they were supposed to send me a stipend. And the school also was supposed to give me some sort of stipend. But before all that started, I ran out of money. I didn't know what to do. So I cried, literally cried. I would cry almost weeks every night that I wanted to go home. Most of the things that I learned, most of who I am today, became that because I live in Taiwan. I've learned so many things in Taiwan. Let's say I grew up here in Taiwan.
Hi everyone and welcome back to another video. Maybe some of you already recognize today's guest, but even if you don't, maybe you've actually seen one of his many videos about Taiwan.
My name is Lamin. That's my English official name. I'm an English teacher, so I teach on Mondays to Fridays. So the students started calling me Lamin because the name Lamin and Lamin kind of very similar. And I personally love to eat Lamin. When I graduated, I just wanted to go out somewhere. So I started looking for scholarships and I applied for many other countries. So I got a friend in Taiwan here. He told me, you can come to Taiwan. People are friendly. The weather is very similar to where I come from. That's the Gambia. I said, okay, let me come and give it a try. And then since then, I've been stuck here.
Well, weather is very similar. I feel like Gambia must just be like dry all the time.
Well, we have like 2 seasons. We have the summer, dry season, and the wet season.
So but both are summers. So it's like dry summer and wet summer.
Yeah, but usually the dry season, we don't have rain.
Every single time I have a guest from like a new country, I always take the opportunity to also like try to understand more about that country. For someone like from Gambia, what is like the biggest or like the first differences that you notice when you come to Taiwan?
I think it's a very common thing, food and the way we go about it. In Gambia, you have very few restaurants. You eat your daily food at home. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So when I came to Taiwan, to adjust to that, to go to restaurants, I find it hard to choose what to eat. And the kind of dishes we have is we also use rice a lot, rice and bread. So the hamburgers and other things were kind of new to me. We have a few stores that have hamburgers, but those are for special events. You go there on a date or something. But the rest of our year or the day, it's rice and bread. So when I get to Taoyuan Airport, I went straight to Tainan.
Okay.
So I didn't see much there. I was like, where is this place? People showed me, is this the capital? I said, no, this is not the capital. This is just one of the cities that are very small cities. So then even Taipei, I think I spent 2 years in Tainan before I get to Taipei.
What? Other than you having a friend who was already here in Taiwan, how much did you know about Taiwan from back home? Like, for example, like in school or just like seeing it on TV or on the news or something like this?
In school, I think I've never heard of Taiwan. But I could remember the time I came here, we had this relationship, diplomatic relationship between Gambia and Taiwan. When I was young, we watched Chinese movies. Everyone is very short, sort of. So I thought I'm going to find very short people. But when I came in, I realized that there are very tall people here too. I came without knowing much about the world itself. Most of the things that I learned, most of who I am today, became that because I live in Taiwan. I've learned so many things in Taiwan. Let's say I grew up here in Taiwan. Gambia is more of a third world country. So there are many things we don't have access to it. If you don't go out of the country, you don't get to know so many things.
Now, like 12 years later, how would you describe like living in Taiwan to like your friends and family who might still be back home in Gambia and who has not had that like world exposure and world experience?
I went home for a visit, and then we have this culture of when it's time for lunch, we put food in a big bowl and all of us will sit around this bowl, use our hands or use a spoon. For elder people, they use spoons, and younger people use their hands, because they feel like using your hand to eat, you have more connection with the food and yourself. You respect the food more. We share the same dish, a big bowl. The rice will be there, pour our soup on it, and we eat. And then for drinking water, we'll have a cup that we all share. If you finish drinking, you give another person the cup, and they will take the water and drink. So when I went back, I was like, what you guys are doing, this is not good. This is a way of spreading whatever you have to another person. So I went to the market and bought a lot of cups for everyone, My mom is like, what are you doing? You grow up in this. I was like, it doesn't mean what you grow up in, you have to maintain that. When you go out, you realize certain things are not the right way. When someone get a common cold in the house or in the compound, almost everyone will get it because we are sharing the same cup to drink. They can understand that. For them, we are family. We should connect together. So having different, utensils for everyone is like giving a bit of separation. This is yours, this is mine. But how about we all use one? That's how it is. So
what? Well, I cannot speak for people in Gambia, but for people living in this apartment, I do believe that some sort of separation might be good for the overall relationship. For example, individual blankets from the sponsor of today's video, Emma. We're now finally going towards the spring, the summer, and the sometimes unbearable hot summer months, which makes it a perfect time to do some spring cleaning here in the bedroom and also maybe update your own bedroom with one of these breathable mattresses from Emma. And I personally recommend the Diamond Degree cooling mattress, which is almost a must during these upcoming Taiwanese summer months. But since the German design and quality is absolutely amazing, I am still stuck with this hybrid version of the mattress, simply because this mattress is just as great and provides the same amount of support since the day we first got it installed here in the apartment. And if you want to experience these mattresses for yourself, or maybe treat your mom something special as an early Mother's Day gift, Emma now has an Early Birds Mother's Day special on their website where you can get up to 45% off these mattresses. And if you use my brand new coupon code Lukas25, you get an additional 10% off on everything in their entire store during checkout as well, including this 100% customizable pillow and this 100% waterproof mattress protector as well. And as always with Emma, you of course have their 100-night sleep guarantee, which means that you can try out the mattresses in your own home for 100 nights. And if you're not 100% satisfied, you of course get 100% of your money back. And speaking about 100% certainty, I am now also 100% certain that I do have some more questions for a new friend, Lamin. It sounds so weird to me because I've never heard of something like this before. But like, let's say if you're inviting like a friend over for dinner, is there something kind of like, if we're good friends, we will share a cup?
I think we all share the same cup. If you're drinking the cup that others are using, if you want to drink, you use the same cup and drink. For us, we're very used to, it's an Islamic way, shaking hands and greeting everyone. So when you are passing by on the road, people are there, you greet them. So when I came in here, I was doing that. And when I get to the office and start saying hello to everyone, no one responds,
Yeah.
But it started when I was during my school time. In class, when I get there, I find my friends and I'll say, hey, hi to all of them individually. And when I'm sitting down, when they came in, no one says hello. They'll just come and sit and start talking to me. So I will feel a bit upset. If you don't say hello to me, you don't talk to me. That's how I will respond. So when they say something to me, I will ignore them. You came in, you didn't say hello, and now you want to ask something from me. I'm not going to do it. But later on, as time goes on, I started almost everyone is doing the same thing. I was like, probably this is how people do things here. Even still, I find it difficult to go somewhere and I don't say hello to people. But I'm trying to adapt to that.
Yeah.
My first 3 months, I cried. I wanted to go home because I was kind of lonely. And my friend, we had different time schedules. We seldom see each other. And I was doing double major, so I didn't have time to do anything. I'll go to my English classes, then Chinese classes. The other major is in Chinese. But I'm the only foreigner in that class. And all the students are Chinese, so teachers just will do it in Chinese. And I only came with like $300 US. So within 3 months, that's gone. The worst thing I did was I came in, I said, I am going to China, because in China, they have some shopping areas where things are very cheap. You can buy many things, shoes, clothing, very cheap, at a cheap price. I said, okay, when I get there, I can buy some things myself. Realizing that things in Taiwan are way expensive than things in China. Because I was working for a company, they were supposed to send me a stipend. And the school also was supposed to give me some sort of stipend. But before all that started, I ran out of money. I didn't know what to do. So the friend that I know was the one who even supported me within those few months for me to be able to get up to the point where I was able to get my stipends, so I could get something to buy some food to eat. So I cried, literally cried. I would cry almost weeks every night that I wanted to go home.
How about now then, like 12 years later? Or are you still like crying and want to go back home?
No, now if you wanted me to go home, probably I would cry that I don't want to go home.
Okay.
I've really settled. Life here, it's good. I've really settled in. I've understand so many things, and I've got 2 dogs, and
nice.
which means I'm not gonna leave them. think I'm going to be here probably for the rest of my life. Probably if I'm going to leave, it's going to be go somewhere, come back, go back to Gambia, come back.
I want to say welcome to Taiwan, but that's what you usually say, because if you haven't figured this out yet, you are a fellow YouTuber here in Taiwan with, of course, the YouTube channel, Welcome to Taiwan. How did that start?
Well, I have another YouTube channel that is Fun Ventures Taiwan, because there was a time I was kind of feeling that down stuff, like not doing so many things and just school and home. For me, my personality, I'm a very adventurous person. If I heard about something, it's not like it's gonna kill me and people go there, I wanna go and see myself. And I remember I went alone somewhere and I got stranded. I get to a point where I need to go up and I can't find a way to go up. So these other guys, the group, they came with ropes.
You were not joking when you said like you like adventurous stuff. Like I was just imagining like a normal hike and some hot springs, and there's like ropes need to be saved and stuff.
Oh yeah, I've been to so many places that you couldn't. I remember that I went somewhere, Gianni and Duan. Maybe those that are adventurous, they will know. It's a very, very wild place to go to. And the first time I went with my girl, and we were hiking up to go up, and it's like 15 kilometers up steep climb, having heavy bags, and it was difficult. These guys came in with a mini truck and they stopped. Hey, where are you guys going? We said, yeah, and then they said, okay, get in. Just like that. We just get in and they get us there. And I remember I also went alone and got stranded. I was kind of like a whirlpool and I couldn't come out. And I find it very hard to get out of that pool. I spent like 1 hour, 30 minutes trying to swim out of it. And I was alone, so that was dangerous. That's why since then I stopped going out alone. So, but finally, usually what I do, they say safety first. I'll always have my helmet and my life jacket. If I didn't have a life jacket that day, probably I wouldn't be able to come out. When I came out, I just find a dry place and spend the night there. The next morning, I was still going back and feeling very tired. These Jeep people also picked me up. Hey, where are you going? I say, well, I'm going back. They say, okay, we are going and coming very soon. We'll pick you up. And they pick me up. I didn't ask for it. In Gambia, you'll have people that will pick you up, but usually you have to wave to ask for it. But here, people will see you in a difficult situation and they'll want to help you. So this kind of stuff are things that you do it to someone, they probably won't forget it. No matter where you come from, if people do this kind of stuff to you, you don't tend to forget it. So I spoke to a friend of mine. He said, yeah, since you're going to go there, you might as well make videos about it. I said, okay. So I started making a rough video, just going around. I had a camera on my phone and it was just shaking everywhere. Then I posted and people started watching it. I was like, okay, let me do more of this. So one time we were camping in the mountains with one, I got this American friend. We go out together on these mountains. He was like, what are some of the most common questions people ask you here? We were like, where you come from? Why are you here? He said, why not make a video of that? I was like, okay. So I started. He was the first person.
You're not in them yourself.
Yeah.
So I was like, who is this person? like where does these videos like just pop up from? So I think like a lot of people have seen at least like one of your videos.
Yeah.
But they don't recognize you because you're being like behind the camera. After you have been interviewing so many other foreigners here in Taiwan, what have you learned about Taiwan from them and from like those interviews? Because when I'm also interviewing like other foreigners, because I've only lived in Taipei, for example, so I have like no experience of living in other Taiwanese cities. And I feel like I learned so much about the world outside of Taipei. Is there anything that had caught your mind and it's like, oh, actually, I lived here in Taiwan for like 12 years. I didn't realize this until you interviewed other foreigners here in Taiwan.
One of the things is this Mazu March. I will see them outside, but I didn't know what is it all about. But by interviewing people, I tend to understand what is it all about and how joyful and how adventurous it is and a kind of one-time experience. And there was this one, Yang Roro in Chai. I went there recently. I got this Italian guy who came here purposely for that Yang Roro, and he stayed. So these little things helps you understand more about Taiwan. So yeah, it's been an interesting journey, meeting different people.
And if you want to hear more about our little discussion or maybe more of my life here in Taiwan, we're also going to make another interview with me, I think, on, of course, Welcome to Taiwan's channel, which you will have a link to down in the description. Thank you all so much for watching. My name is Lukas. Starts with L as in like, ends with S as in subscribe. Please do both, and see you all in the next one.